I always thought my job was ordinary numbers, spreadsheets, monthly reports. I thought my quiet life tucked between cubicles and conference calls would pass unnoticed. But one day, a single pattern in a sales report whispered that something was very wrong. Something everyone else ignored. Something that would change my life forever. I was Alina Williams, 32 at the time, a mid-level analyst in a multinational logistics company. I had grown up believing hard work and discretion were my armor. My father had always said, "Meddle with what's yours and nothing more." I never imagined that the very world I tried to navigate quietly was teeming with secrets, shadows, and decisions that could destroy lives. The first anomaly was subtle, a set of supplier invoices that didn't match production schedules. Tiny discrepancies, almost laughable, dismissed by my manager as clerical errors. But I couldn't shake the feeling. Something about the rhythm of the numbers, the way they mirrored patterns in competitors' reports, prickled my instincts. I began taking home spreadsheets, poring over late-night data, cross-referencing public filings, and scanning obscure industry reports. It was obsessive, and soon I realized these coincidences weren't coincidences at all. Someone, somewhere, was orchestrating a massive manipulation, a cartel quietly inflating prices, funneling contracts, and locking competitors out. And I, a junior analyst, had stumbled into the engine room. The realization brought both adrenaline and fear. Every keystroke I made in pursuit of clarity carried weight. I began documenting everything: emails, contracts, digital footprints. I even started secretly taking photos of internal memos when it seemed no one was watching. Each piece of evidence connected another dot, forming a blueprint of deception, so vast it seemed unreal. Yet, I had no allies. Everyone around me either didn't notice or didn't care. Some were clearly complicit, and I could feel the unspoken walls tightening. IT issues started, the occasional locked file, mysterious system glitches. My suggestions in meetings were brushed aside. "Just focus on your reports," my manager said. "You're overthinking things." Overthinking? I knew deep down that the company itself was a participant in the very conspiracy I was trying to unravel. For weeks, isolation gnawed at me. I thought about quitting, about returning to anonymity. But each day, the picture became clearer and my moral compass would not let me rest. I realized I had two choices: live with this knowledge and let billions be stolen, or risk everything to expose it. One night, after staring at my laptop for hours, I made my decision. I would find a way to shine light on this, even if it destroyed my career or worse. The first step was legality. I reached out to an attorney who specialized in corporate whistleblowing. Every interaction was tense. I encrypted emails, burned sensitive notes, and met the attorney in crowded coffee shops rather than office lobbies. We strategized for weeks, figuring out how to validate my claims without immediate exposure. I had to ensure my evidence was indisputable. Contracts traced to shell companies, emails linking executives to illegal price fixing, supplier agreements with inflated clauses. It was meticulous work, and paranoia became my constant companion. I began hiding USB drives in hollowed books, encrypting files multiple times, and even creating fake spreadsheets to throw off casual scrutiny. I was playing chess on a board I didn't fully trust, against opponents who could ruin my life with a single misstep. Eventually, we contacted investigative journalists. I can still remember the first meeting. Dim office lights, coffee cooling too quickly in ceramic cups, the palpable tension of secrets being shared. They listened, took notes, asked questions I didn't have answers to yet. It was terrifying. But when they verified what I had discovered, a surge of purpose replaced fear. I wasn't just a cog in a machine anymore. I was the catalyst. The cartel's web was larger than I imagined. Executives, suppliers, even government contractors were implicated. The journalists worked in tandem with federal investigators, who slowly started connecting my dots to evidence obtained independently. One evening, while reviewing a pile of documents, I stumbled upon a hidden folder labeled Internal Audit 2015. Inside were letters, formal complaints previously buried, ignored by management. This wasn't just about numbers or money. It was about decades of silence and complicity. I realized then the true tragedy. Ordinary employees like me were only ever small ripples in a sea of orchestrated wrongdoing. And yet, one ripple could create a tidal wave. The first twist came unexpectedly. A series of emails from 2010, overlooked for years, revealed that one of my mentors, someone I had trusted implicitly, had been aware of the cartel. Worse, they had actively concealed it, manipulating reports to protect higher-ups. My trust shattered. The revelation cut deeper than fear. It left a void. I had spent months fearing faceless corporate villains, only to discover betrayal in the quietest corner of familiarity. The second twist, more personal, struck even harder. After the investigation gained momentum, an anonymous letter arrived at my apartment. Inside was a photograph of my father, shaking hands with one of the cartel's chief executives taken decades ago. The man was smiling. My father's expression was unreadable. DNA and time-stamped evidence confirmed it wasn't doctored. My father, a man who had preached moral clarity, had been entangled in the very corruption I was exposing. Confronted with the truth, my father broke down. He told me stories I had never known, how financial desperation and misplaced loyalty had forced his hand. I felt rage, betrayal, and, strangely, compassion. Life had tangled us all in impossible knots. As the investigation concluded, the cartel unraveled. Executives faced charges, multi-billion-dollar contracts were voided, and the industry underwent sweeping reforms. I was hailed in media reports, given awards for bravery, and offered opportunities in every corner of the business world. Yet, the victories felt hollow. The scars of betrayal lingered. I had exposed systemic corruption, yes, but at a cost: fractured family ties, broken trust, and years of anxiety that would not fade overnight. Decades later, in the quiet of my suburban home, I reflect on that period of my life. The girl who once accepted spreadsheets without question had become a woman who understood the complexity of morality. I taught my children not only to seek justice, but to question authority, to recognize that good intentions do not absolve complicity, and that courage sometimes comes in the form of quiet diligence rather than loud defiance. My father and I rebuilt our relationship slowly, layered with honesty and painful confessions. The industry continued to evolve, shaped partly by my actions, yet the temptation of greed never vanished. I realized that heroism is transient, but integrity, painstakingly nurtured, endures. I never sought fame. I never wanted headlines. But I understand now that one person, armed with evidence, persistence, and a moral compass, can create waves that echo for decades. The story of the unseen hand, the ripple of courage, reminds me daily that even the quietest observer can become the catalyst for change.